Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is your WWE Fastlane post show. Roman Reigns still Universal Champion. Drew McIntyre victorious. And The Fiend is back and burnt up. Let's do this thing. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Dave. This is the show. There's Johnny, great wrestler, my man. How you doing, Johnny? WWE Fastlane just went down tonight. We just saw the lane of Fast. We're on the road to Mania. Things are happening in wrestling. We just saw a tremendous match in the main event. I'd say the main event was match of the night. I don't know about you. I want to get it started right off the bat. Right off the top, match of the night, pay-per-view on 10. What are we giving it? I'm seeing people in the chat already. Doug Hepburn's on the chat. Matthew the Magician. Mako 8033. TK. Say Bob Cote. JJ Mondesi. Craig Paquette. I'm seeing the whole team on the chat. Franco 316. Shout out to everybody watching. And give me your match of the night and your pay-per-view rating on 10. What are you giving this thing? Johnny North, I just gave you my match of the night. It's what we just saw. It was Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. It was a terrific pro wrestling match. It was given plenty of time. It deserved the time. It was about 30 minutes. Edge with some interference. We'll talk about what went down in the match. But I'm going to give this pay-per-view on 10 a solid 7. I didn't think that it was filled with classic matches, but we definitely saw some matches that were solid. We didn't have anything that was too objectionable, really, tonight. I wasn't really offended by anything that we saw. Everything was kind of, fine. And then the main event was just terrific, a match of the year candidate, I would say. So I'm happy with it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, and my match of the night is Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. What about you, Big Johnny?
Well, I guess we see this pay-per-view differently. I agree with you. The main event was the best match, no question. But I still had problems with it. I didn't like that they pretty much reused the same finish from the first match we saw earlier in the night. When you have, again, the title match feud, Sasha and Bianca, where they had the whole thing where it's like, oh, the other person hit me, and then I get mad with them, and that cost them the match. Then you see it again, pretty much again in the main event as well, where Edge and Daniel Bryan, again, the whole distraction thing, and it's like it's obvious it was an accident, but still, I'm going to hit you anyways. I don't like reusing finishes like that, especially when we saw it earlier in the night, and again, it's in the same kind of thing. It's in a big title match feud. So I didn't like that. The match is still good, though. I mean, it's still a good wrestling match. You can't take that away from them. They still put in a good effort. I just don't like the booking of it. But at least it does give us what we wanted. We thought triple threat match, and as of right now, it's not a triple threat, but I feel like somehow, some way, we're going to get it to be a triple threat because there's a lot of controversy coming off that match.
Yes. So what are you giving this pay-per-view on 10? I'm giving it a 7. I'm seeing TK giving it an 8 on 10. Matthew the Magician giving it a 7.5. Bob Cote 7.5. Doug Hepburn giving it a 6. A lot of people like this pay-per-view. A lot of people grading it pretty highly, John. I liked it. I'm giving it a 7 on 10. What do you think?
Well, there were some other problems in the pay-per-view as well. I mean, there were some good moments, but I have to give it a 6.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. Fantastic match in the main event. Let's get to it. They start off doing some great wrestling, some amateur-style wrestling, very technical style of Daniel Bryan, one of the best technical wrestlers in the game. And if you know me and you know what kind of wrestling I like, I'm a sucker for that technical wrestling style. I really like Daniel Bryan. I really like Zack Sabre Jr. I liked, Mr. Perfect and Dean Malenko. You know what I mean? These are my style of wrestlers. The Chris Benoits. I mean, we know what happened, but he was a good technical wrestler. Bret Hart. I like a technical wrestler, and Daniel Bryan is, I'd say, the best technical wrestler. It's kind of a throwback term. Not a lot of people use it anymore. It used to be, talked about a lot in the WWE. This guy is the best technical wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation. But I'd say Daniel Bryan is the best technical wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation today, and he showed that in the early parts of the match. I love it. I loved it. And then, of course, Roman got some advantage. Bryan really made Roman look like $1 million, made him look like the monster and a big, strong guy, really accentuated his strengths, the size, the power, the strength itself. I thought that was really good. Bryan told a fantastic story in the early goings of that match, and then Roman continuing, getting some over there, getting the heat on Daniel Bryan. I thought the match was fantastic, and then we get to the finish. Bryan hits the ref accidentally with his flying knee. He goes to hit Roman. Roman dives out of the way. Ref goes down. Roman then hits his spear on Bryan, and Edge is outside the ring as a special enforcer, so there's no ref. Edge jumps in, counts to 2. Roman gets mad at that point, and he's like, well, Daniel Bryan, you hit the ref on purpose because you and Edge are trying to screw me, because the spear usually is a 3 count. Great false finish there. When Roman hit the spear and Edge jumped in the ring, I thought, oh, this could be over. But it wasn't. Tons more wrestling to go after that. Roman got mad. Jey Uso hits the ring at this point, hits Edge and Bryan with super kicks. Uso tried to hit Bryan with a steel chair, but he ate a knee instead from Bryan, and then Bryan took out Jey Uso with a bunch of chair shots, which I thought was really good, bringing Jey Uso into the mix and then having Bryan take him out. It was like, oh, here comes Jey Uso. Oh, he took Edge out. There's nobody to stop him from helping Roman win, and then he's got the chair. He's going to take out Bryan. But no, it was just so many times you thought, oh, here's Bryan. He's out here. Roman hits him with a spear. You think it's over. He kicks out. Jey Uso comes with the chair. Daniel Bryan ducks the chair, hits him with a knee, hits Jey Uso with a bunch of chair shots, and then Jey Uso is out on the floor. Like, a lot of great moments, a lot of great false finishes there in the match that made you think, oh, maybe Bryan has a shot. I thought it was fantastic. Roman hits the Superman punch, and then he sets up for the spear at this point. Well, no, hold on. We missed where Bryan. So yeah. Bryan hit chair shots, takes out Jey Uso, and then he goes to hit Roman with a chair, right? But then he misses Roman with the chair, and he hits Edge accidentally, and then Roman hits Bryan with the Superman punch because Bryan's distracted by the missed chair shot, right? He hits Edge. Mm-hmm. So then Roman sets up for the spear after the Superman punch, and you think, oh, maybe it's over here, but then Bryan reverses, puts him in the yes lock, and eventually Roman looks like he's going to go unconscious. Paul Heyman is screaming at him, think of your family, think of your kids, don't give up, Roman, begging him not to tap out. And eventually Roman is kind of tapping on Bryan's hand, but there's no ref, there's no Edge to see it. Actually, there is an Edge to see it, but he is too busy standing above Daniel Bryan with a steel chair. He hits Bryan with the chair, breaking the hold. He hits Roman with a chair because Roman's his WrestleMania opponent. And then he hits Bryan with a chair again and yells, "This is mine!" and gets all mad and seemingly turns heel, which was an interesting twist. And then he leaves enraged. Roman drags himself over to Edge, or over to Bryan. A new referee has shown up. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. I thought it was great. Fantastic match. Lots of twists and turns. Kept you on the edge of your seat. Beautiful wrestling. Great physicality. It showcased exactly what Daniel Bryan is capable of in a main event, and that's why Daniel Bryan should be in the main event of WrestleMania, because he's the best wrestler in the world today. He shows you this time and time again. He could get you invested in a match where you know Roman is going to win, but you think, damn, maybe Bryan's got a shot here. He always gets you to believe. He always keeps your interest. And goddamn, when he steps between those ropes, I don't think there's a better wrestler out there. I really don't. And I don't think there has been in a decade. I mean, at least. I know Bryan spent a good chunk of that decade out with an injury and retirement or whatever, but Daniel Bryan is one of the best wrestlers of all time, and he showed again tonight why he should be in the main event, why he should be given 30 minutes in title matches. What I've been saying for years now, Daniel Bryan is the best. He should be in all the main events. He should be the champion, so he could defend the title in main events on every WWE pay-per-view, and then every WWE pay-per-view, you could have a 30-minute classic from this brilliant performer, Daniel Bryan. But the WWE hasn't booked Daniel Bryan that way, right? They put him in all sorts of different ridiculous matches over the years, feuding with big Cass and so on. But tonight, he got to showcase what he's all about. Daniel Bryan versus the champion, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania match on the line, Edge outside the ring doing shenanigans. This is as perfect a wrestling match as you'll see. I don't know what Meltzer's going to give this thing, but I would say this is a 5-star match. I know, John, you didn't like the finish because it was repeated from earlier in the night, but if you forget about that and you just isolate what happened tonight, and you can understand Edge, because Edge and Bryan have had friction the whole time, right? You can understand Edge when he finally does get hit with the chair from Bryan, even though he knows it's accidental. The frustration has built so much up until that point. He sees Bryan taking the title and taking his WrestleMania dream away of facing the big dog Roman Reigns, the face of the company at Mania. He gets so enraged that Bryan is trying to steal this moment from him that he snaps, hits Bryan with a chair, and costs him the match. Like, I understand the Sasha Bianca thing and the match earlier in the night, but if you forget about that and you just focus on this one match, everybody's motivations are clear. Edge makes sense. It's a damn near perfect match. This is as perfect as a match as you're going to get in the WWE. 5 stars from Big Dave. Not Meltzer. Simon. This one. Okay? I'm not on all the supplements that he's on, but right?
No, Meltzer definitely has big arms. There's no question about that. But the thing is, like, when we rate a pay-per-view, we kind of rate it start to finish. So it's hard to forget about the start because it plays into the ending as well because you remember what happened. That's how we usually rate a pay-per-view overall, no? Like, as a matchup by itself, stand alone, sure, yes. Like, if you just take this like as a clip throughout history and like this match as standalone, yes. But if you're rating the pay-per-view overall as a whole, it definitely takes away from it a bit because it's just a callback to what you've already seen. Why can't they be a little bit more creative? I mean, there's definitely something else they could have done, but sadly they didn't. I don't know why they just have to keep repeating stuff when it's on the exact same show. It's too bad. And also, I think Meltzer might have been away from that crossbody that happened where, like, Roman Reigns pretty much power slammed him on the outside. I don't think he was supposed to do that.
Yeah, that might have been a little bit of a mistake, right? It looked like he was supposed to take the dive, but it just kind of didn't work out. And then he hit him with a crossbody, and then they improvised with Bryan doing that running knee off the apron afterwards, right? Roman kind of lifted him up again and looked to slam him into the ring post. Bryan slips off, pushes Roman into the ring post, and then he does a running knee off the apron to kind of bump Roman back down. It did seem like that was a bit of a mistake, but that's really the only... And it was hard to tell because it still looked like a good, solid power slam on the outside. I don't know why you're nitpicking here, John. Have you seen a better match this year?
I'm just telling you.
Have you seen a better match this year?
From WWE? Hard to say right now. I mean,
from anybody.
Again, I really like Kevin and Roman. It's just that finish. That's the only thing that really hurt it. And again, it plays into the finish again here somewhat, a little bit, but not as bad. It seems always the finishes are always the problem in Roman matches for whatever reason. But this is definitely up there, no question about it. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Meltzer doesn't give this 5 stars. Apparently, he's never give Daniel Bryan a 5-star match, so I wouldn't be surprised he doesn't do it again.
Really? How is that possible? It's Daniel Bryan. He's the greatest wrestler of his generation. Oh, well. You know, Kenny Omega's great and all, but I'd still take Daniel Bryan over him. Still. Is what it is. Wow. Mm-hmm. Incredible match tonight. Incredible match. Roman and Kevin from Royal Rumble was very good. This, I'd say, was better. I would say this is the match of the year for the WWE. I'd say even match of the year for wrestling. Did you like this more than Kenny and Moxley, the exploding barbed wire? I did.
Yeah. It's really hard to compare those kind of things because, I mean, it's a totally different style of match, right?
I know.
So it's really difficult to compare that stuff.
But when we're talking match of the year, those are going to be the conversations, right? Kenny and Mox, I think, exploding match. This match tonight, Kevin and Roman from Royal Rumble. Those are the matches in contention so far, but hey, it's just March 21st, so it's early, pal. But with Daniel Bryan getting Roman Reigns to tap out, it seems like Triple Threat at Mania is in order, right?
Well, you think WrestleMania, that's where you're going to see the best matches, right? So you got to keep your eyes open for that one. And whenever other big pay-per-views come up, SummerSlam usually has some good matches as well. It's still early.
And Douglas Hepburn, one of the members of the team, he makes a good point. He says, I'm still in awe of Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. That was pretty awesome, too. That's going to be in the conversation. Can't forget about that. That was sick.
Again, hardcore match. I mean, it's good for the hardcore match, but again, to say match of the year, it's tough to say. For AEW, very possible. Again, overall, tough to say.
Chris in the chat says match of the year so far is Baker versus Rosa, but not according to Cornette. Did Cornette not like that match? I haven't heard his
Cornette
review.
Doesn't like hardcore wrestling.
He doesn't like anything, really. I don't think he likes any wrestling currently. I mean, really?
Even Meltzer doesn't like hardcore wrestling. Meltzer didn't give that 5 stars.
I wouldn't say it was better than this match tonight. I'd say it was very good, but I'd still say Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, But everybody's got their own preferential style, I prefer the, like I said, that technical wrestler style, and that's what Daniel Bryan is. That opening, of the match, the first, 10 minutes, just beautiful stuff. You can tell Daniel Bryan knows what he's doing. Just really nice stuff. Great grappling. Smooth. I loved it.
Well, I thought the pay-per-view, for the last match, it ended well. Because I thought, for the most part, it felt like very much up and down kind of pay-per-view. There's some stuff I liked, but then it's like they could never follow it up with something good afterwards. I felt like it was always like an up, down kind of pay-per-view. Yeah,
it wasn't a perfect pay-per-view all around. That main event, though, solidified it it really solidified it as a decent pay-per-view. It helped a ton. But yeah, Bryan making Roman tap, Edge hitting Bryan with the chair. At that point, Edge should have, as the referee, he should have, called the match at that point for Daniel Bryan and awarded him the championship, right? So there was a screwy finish. It's the Tampa screw job. Daniel Bryan got screwed. Edge is a dirty, filthy bastard again. It's not old man Family Guy Edge with Beth Phoenix, Mr. Phoenix. It's evil Edge. We hate him, and he is a total jerk, and he's going to be sticking his tongue out again.
I don't
Just wait
Edge.
And see. I hate him. I hate his guts.
He
screwed Daniel Bryan.
Like
He's a bastard. He's a bastard, man. Edge is my worst enemy. I mean, I love Edge. He's great. Like this video. Subscribe. Edge is great. I mean, he's a fantastic wrestler. I'm not going to say anything bad about Edge. Just, tonight, personally, as a Daniel Bryan superfan, I'm a little miffed, can we say. I'm a little like, hey, Edge, you motherfucker, you. But, I think Edge and Roman at WrestleMania wouldn't have been that good, and they need Daniel Bryan to make it better because Daniel Bryan's the best.
Well, and when you think about it, too, Daniel Bryan has a chance to win this. I mean, if they had to put him in the match, why not just give him the title as well? It's very possible.
Oh, I don't think it's possible, but you're getting my hopes up now, John. You shouldn't do that to me. Don't do that to me. The WWE has gotten my hopes up so many times in the past however many years that Daniel Bryan's been in the company, only to shatter my dreams over and over again like I'm perched in a corner and I've got Goldust running at me. How's that for an old school reference?
Well, Goldust still wrestles. I mean, it's not that old school.
He doesn't do the shattered dreams anymore.
He's attempted it, but they always stop him because it's a DQ.
Yeah, what's a DQ move? I don't understand how Goldust was able to pull it off. He'd sit a guy in the corner with his legs spread. He'd run from one corner to the other and just kick him in the nuts. And the ref was like, yeah, fair play, Goldust. Fair play. Shattered dreams. It's one of your signature maneuvers. Anyways, what else happened at this pay-per-view? We saw Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. Okay, so the Fiend thing happened. Alexa Bliss actually beat Randy Orton. That's something that happened. Shout out to Angelo for the super chat, by the way. We love you, Angelo. Angelo's a member of the team. Become a member of the team. Become a member of the channel. And you can also become a member over at donate.ringsidereport.net. Do it. Thank you, Angelo, for the super chat. Did he have a question? Or was it just a super chat?
I think he had a statement. I think he said his favorite match, which if I'm not mistaken, was Roman and Daniel Bryan.
Match of the night. Reigns-Bryan. I'd give the pay-per-view a 7. Thank you, Angelo. Yeah. Match of the night. Reigns-Bryan. I'd give the pay-per-view a 7. Angelo's a smart man. You know why? Because that's exactly what I said. Match of the night. Reigns-Bryan. And I gave the pay-per-view a 7. I agree with you 100%, Angelo. Smart guy. He's a super chatter. He's a member of the team. And he agrees with me 110%. That's my man right there. See that, John? You need to be more like Angelo. You need to agree with me more often. And be nicer to Daniel Bryan.
Not gonna happen.
Edge turned heel, though. What are you talking about? Edge is not a heel. He's a heel. Doing that to Daniel Bryan tonight, that's a heel maneuver. He screwed the babyface Bryan out of his title win over the evil man Roman Reigns. What are you talking about?
He's always told you he's the ultimate opportunist. And he took himself out of that match. Like, after he did that, he left. So he's not the one that decided it in the end. Like, Daniel Bryan hit him, so he's going to hit him back. That's fair play.
That's not fair play because you know just as well as I know that Edge knows that it was accidental and he did it out of rage. When he was, like, going all crazy afterwards, he was like, it's mine. Like, hitting him once, fair play. Hitting him twice, heel. Like, he hit him, then he hit Roman, then he hit Bryan again, and that's what cost him the match. Unfair play, bad guy Edge, heel Edge. Quick vote in the chat if you watched the show tonight. Did Edge turn heel? Did Edge turn heel? Just write yes or no. Yes, 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 or no. Did Edge turn heel? Johnny doesn't think he did. I'm quite certain he did. Really, John?
He's not a heel. He's not a heel to me.
But that doesn't mean anything.
It means everything. Like, I see Daniel Bryan more of the heel. He seemed very cocky going into this match. Like, seemed like, oh, it should be his moment and everything. Like, Edge won the Rumble. Daniel Bryan did not win the Rumble. Daniel Bryan lost his chance. So if you think about it, like, he's trying to ruin Edge's moment here.
Well, so far in the chat, I think we're split 50-50. I'm seeing a couple of no's and a couple of yeses. TK says yes. Derek John says yes. Bob Cote says no. DJ Bourne says no.
It depends, like, if you like Daniel Bryan or you like Edge. I mean, but that's the way it's going to be. I mean, they're both kind of faces in a sense, so, against Roman. But I feel Roman's a face, too. I mean, Roman's a great guy, in my opinion. Antoinette would agree with me.
He's such a heel. He's such a heel. Edge helped the heel retain his title tonight. How is that not a heel move? JJ Mondesi saying no. Doug Hepburn says, I don't know. Angelo says, Bryan a heel? Come on, Johnny. Yeah, come on, Johnny. Angelo's on my team tonight. Team Dave.
The yes movement.
Yes movement. Forever. Forever.
You should be happy. You get another WrestleMania.
Lee J saying Edge did not turn heel tonight. Everybody's on Johnny's side. Angelo
Not
says
everyone.
Roman is a heel. Mako says yes. Mako. I love it. I love it. I like the chat battles. I like the chat battle. I like the super chat battle when we were doing super chat battle. Guys were trying to one-up each other on the super chat. That was funny. I think Patrick won that one. Patrick is like a super chat king. But I think Angelo won one too. That's another story. All right, what else happened on this pay-per-view? Randy comes to the ring for his match. No. Another no. Donovan says no. God damn, pal.
There's a lot of Edge love, man. People like Edge.
I know, I like Edge too, but like he was clearly being mean there at the end. Like, this is mine. I won't let you take this from me. Like that seemed like a heel thing to say. He seemed heelish. I mean, I like Edge. I like him. He's a great wrestler. He's a legend. Is he as good as Daniel Bryan? Fuck no.
See, and it's that attitude too. Like that's the problem. Daniel Bryan has that kind of attitude, so kind of makes Daniel Bryan a bit of a heel.
Why?
A little too cocky.
Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the super chat. Oh, he's leading the night. He's leading the night. He just took over Angelo, just a bit more than Angelo. Uh-oh. The battle is on. The battle is on. TK says it's because we are Canadian. It's a Canadian love for Edge. It's a bunch of Canadian people. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so I like Daniel Bryan. It supersedes my nationality. Jiu-jitsu is more than being Canadian. I can't skate, but I could choke a man in, a dozen different ways at least. So there's that, I'm less Canadian than I am jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a grappler than I am a Canadian person. I like maple syrup, all right, but, I don't watch hockey and stuff, right? I've never skied in my life. I can't skate. But I could do several arm bars, several different nice arm bars, nice chokes, So I'm more of a grappler. So that's why, like, my love for Edge, it's all right, but my love for Bryan, because he's a jiu-jitsu guy, way more. That submission grappling stuff, I'm a mark for it. What can I say? JJ Mondesi says Edge hit them both. Not Edge love, but not a heel. He hit them both, but he hit Bryan twice, JJ Mondesi. He hit Bryan twice. 2 times. He hit Bryan to break up the hold. Then he hit Roman because he hates Roman. But then he hit Bryan again, and that's what cost him the match. And then Roman was not so hurt because he only took 1 chair shot, and he was able to kind of slug over to Daniel Bryan and cover him. Okay? Doug Hepburn taking over the super chat. Thank you, Doug. We appreciate you. TK tried to take it over, but Doug is still in the lead. Thank you, TK. We appreciate you, TK. We appreciate you, Doug. Joshua LeBlanc wants to talk about Retribution. We'll talk about Retribution, Josh. Don't worry about it. Bob Cote says I'm less of a Montrealer because I don't watch hockey. That's true. I live in Montreal, but I don't watch hockey. What can I say? But I like,
Okay.
Hey, look, at least I've seen a championship won at the Bell Center.
You're talking about GSP.
That's right. He's the only real champion that's ever won a title there. Any championships won at the Bell Center? I saw GSP beat Matt Serra there. It was pretty electric. So, I'm down for my city. I love my people. I love my Montreal people and everything. I like bagels. I like smoked meat and so on. I like orange julep very much. Had some last week. It was delicious, right? I'm a Montrealer, but no, I don't like hockey so much. I like wrestling. No time. So much wrestling. How could you have time for that? All that stuff, right? Johnny likes hockey. Johnny loves hockey. He's the hockey fan of the show, right? How are the Canadians doing, John? Terrible?
Well, they won last night, so things are good.
All right. I heard they fired everybody.
That was a while ago.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not up to date. I don't know what's going on there. Randy Orton comes to the ring for his match. This is the stuff I know about. Randy starts spitting out the black stuff from his mouth. He demands a towel to wipe his mouth. He's more angered by the black liquid coming out of his mouth now than, like, scared or perplexed in any kind of way, which is a weird reaction for Randy Orton. It's very strange.
You get used to it.
Yeah, he's used to it at this point. He's like, oh, this is happening again. Somebody get me a towel. The black liquid again. This again. I've been meaning to see a doctor about this. They say it's normal, but I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Right? He treated it like a recurring medical condition, that it's annoying, but, he knows how to just, cough it up, give me a towel, it'll be done. Usually when I see Alexa Bliss or I'm around Alexa Bliss, this happens, big deal. Like, his reaction to it tonight, right? I know you're a big Randy Orton fan, but even for a big Randy Orton fan, Johnny, you got to say, that was weird.
Well, this whole thing didn't really make much sense of anything. Like, how can you say this was a wrestling match? Like, this was an insult to wrestling to say that was a wrestling match. Because you didn't see any wrestling.
No.
Bunch of pyro and stupid stunts. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah. It was not good. It was not a wrestling match. The super chat is going wild, though. The battles are happening. TK just dropped, I think, 1, 2. TK dropped one, tried to be the leader. Doug Hepburn had already dropped one. And then TK dropped another one to take the lead. But then Patrick C. Hamilton dropped another one with an emoji. And now Patrick's in the lead. Fantastic.
That's a
with an emoji and everything.
One. Wow.
Patrick dropping the super chat. We appreciate you, Patrick. We love you. Thank you, brother. Thank you to everybody super chatting tonight. Patrick in the lead though right now. Patrick's killing the game. Patrick is he's a good friend of the show. He's a good man. So yes, it was an embarrassment to professional wrestling, but your boy Randy took an L, John. I think that's why you're mad. So Randy's all mad at the black liquid.
An L, like
that's
it's
right.
the dumbest thing in the world.
He took the L. Take it like a man, John. Take it like a man. Alexa Bliss comes to the ring. The bell rings. The bell rung, John. Randy tries to get to Alexa, but a wall of fire stopped him. Okay?
That's
a firewall.
legal.
That's legal. Fine. It's a fiend. Well, it's Randy Orton versus little Alexa Bliss. She's a small woman. Do you want her to not have the power of magic to defeat giant Randy Orton? You just want Randy Orton to beat the shit out of her, John? What's your problem, huh?
It's supposed to be a wrestling match?
Yeah, well, she won, all right? Randy's a big loser tonight.
Match.
Randy loses to Alexa Bliss on his way to his big match with The Fiend at Mania. I wonder if he'll win that. So Randy runs into the wall of fire. Then Randy runs into a corner full speed, and Alexa just kind of rolls out of the ring, and Randy, like, hits the corner all hard with his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like an idiot there. So he's like, oh, wall of fire. I know how to break this wall of fire. I'm just going to run super fast. And then he does, and Alexa just dodges him like a cartoon character, and he just, like, rams into the corner. Look like a total idiot. It's so bad. Oh, so Randy follows Alexa outside the ring, and then Alexa looks up, and there's this big, like, lighting rig that falls down right in front of Randy to kind of stop him from going at Alexa. Why, if Alexa has the power to do that, why wouldn't she just make it fall on top of Randy? Why would the lighting rig fall in front of Randy, nearly killing him? He burnt up your friend. Why not just, smash him with the lighting rig? But no, the cartoon continued. Randy follows Alexa into the ring. Alexa throws another fireball at Randy. And the announcers and the fireball kind of like shot off the side and didn't quite get at Randy. And the announcers sold it like a kick that kind of grazed somebody. They're like, oh, Alexa didn't get all of that. I was like, what the fuck? Botchamania, pal.
That gave him my first-degree burns last time around.
Yeah,
which, again, perfectly legal to throw a fireball in a match, by the way.
Well, Once the wall of fire and the magic lighting came down, I mean, come on. So then a burnt, scaly arm comes out of the ring.
Legal.
Yeah, it's all legal here. There's no rules in this match. Did they say there were rules? A fireball shoots out of the ring, and then the Fiend emerges, and he's got like a different outfit on, and he's all burnt up. I want to show you a picture of what the Fiend looked like in case you didn't see it.
I thought it was Predator Kane at first.
Did they do a Predator Kane?
They definitely did it at Predator Kane, or like Welder Kane.
Oh yeah,
you remember that
Kane.
one?
My friend Weldy Welderson. That was something else, right? I think
that's the action figure to get.
No, Weldy Welderson. Isn't that Ricky and Julian? I'm Mr. Boxy Boxface, and this is my associate Weldy Welderson. When they go and rob like a liquor store or something, Ricky puts like a cardboard box on his head, and Julian has a welding mask. Anyways, that's a different story.
I remember Boxy Boxface.
Yeah, Boxy Boxface. So there's the Fiend. That's what he looked like tonight. Ooh, yowie, wowie.
Actually, more like Jason from Friday the 13th.
He looked evil, pal. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. I didn't hate it. I liked the look.
The mask, that was about it.
Oh, Dor just dropped a tip. Thank you, Dor. Thank you, Dor. Dor from Israel. Thank you, Dor. Appreciate you. Yeah, brother.
Someone said a Power Ranger villain. I agree with that.
Yeah, he looked like a bad guy. It was crazy. So then he looked awesome. I thought he looked really cool. People thought his mask looked like ill-fitting or whatever. I don't know. I thought the outfit looked awesome. And we knew this was going to happen. The Fiend was going to come back in this match. It was just a matter of time. Like, for what it was ridiculous, but I didn't hate it altogether. So then Alexa pushes Randy into the Fiend, and he hits Sister Abigail, and then Alexa fully mounts Randy for the 1-2-3, and people are commenting on the pin. People like the pin. People enjoyed the pin, because Alexa was wearing a skirt, and she was kind of like straddling Randy's bare chest for the pin. It was a strange pin. It wasn't a normal pin that you would do. Like, she didn't kind of cover him on the side. She, like, full mounted him, but wearing the skirt. It was, like, a little provocative. It was a little strange. And people in the chat are, like, they're commenting on the pin. They're like, oh, yeah. Doug Hepburn's like, Mako goes, what a pin it was. And Doug Hepburn goes, yeah, it was a good pin, Mako. They liked it. They liked the pin. I noticed it too, guys. Thank you, Dor, once again. I think Dor just dropped another one. We appreciate you, Dor. Is Dor in the lead now? I think he is.
He's up there, no question.
Yeah, Dor is in the lead. Oh, guys. Dor's going to donate.ringsidereport.net, and that counts too, brother. It's not just Super Chat. It's on, if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Twitch, those count too. And if Dor just dropped 2 of the 8s, Dor's in the lead, I think, right now with 16. He just overtook Patrick. Good God almighty. People don't usually overtake Patrick in the tips in the Super Chat. Dor in Israel. My brother, thank you. Appreciate you. People, we're international, John. You see that? We're international. Israel.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I like my friends all over the world. So, Alexa pins Randy 1-2-3. Kane Pyro goes off in the corner. The Fiend and Alexa pose together. You didn't notice the pin being a little spicy? I just saw the pin and I was like, all right. I think a lot of guys were like, I wish Alexa would pin me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's wearing a skirt and like the skirt's up and it's like, oh, it's a little, it was saucy. It was a strange way to pin Randy. I don't know. People notice, John.
Well, that was my first thought. My first thought is like, what, the referee's counting this? Like, where was the ref, by the way? Like, he ran away after the firewall thing. and then of course he'll show up on the outside and make the pin on the outside. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, this was garbage. One of the worst things I've seen on pay-per-view. That says a lot because we've seen a lot of garbage in WWE.
You didn't like that, John? What's the matter? That's no good for you? Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, hold on a second, John. You're muted for some reason. Hold on. What's that?
Just don't call it a wrestling match. That's the problem. Like, it's an insult to wrestling when you call that a wrestling match.
Oh, you're just mad because Randy took the loss. Big loser, Randy. And now it sets up Randy versus The Fiend in that Firefly Funhouse match for WrestleMania. They're going to do some sort of cinematic weirdo match at Mania, and it will suck. And Randy can't win. I mean, it's also The Fiend returning from being burnt alive, right? So he's got to get his revenge. Randy lost to Alexa Bliss, though, tonight. That's really the main point. Randy took one move from The Fiend, loses to Alexa Bliss. So there's no way he wins at Mania. That's the kind of problem with this being an actual match and Alexa getting the pinfall victory, is that you set up Randy looking like a total loser for WrestleMania in 3 weeks when he's supposed to wrestle The Fiend. Didn't make Randy look very strong. Like, I understand there was magic and all sorts of stuff, but in the end, what really took Randy out was one Sister Abigail and then a mounted cover from Alexa Bliss. So super Randy chat. Looks super chat. Oh,
that came back. You have sound effects again.
I guess the sound effects are back.
Or was the sound effects just late? Or no, wait. I think. We have a message here.
Angelo saying Door just dropped 8. The second, it was twice. So maybe Door's not in the lead?
But I think the new one is for Patrick Hamilton.
Well, Patrick just dropped one. Patrick says, so Dave liked 2 WWE events in a row? I guess I might have to start watching. Did I like 2 WWE events in a row? I liked Fastlane.
I mean, the Rumble's the best pay-per-view so far, so.
Chamber was okay, too. I didn't hate the Chamber.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but that's your opinion on that one.
Well, we had a title change. Things got interesting. I didn't think it was the best. I didn't hate Chamber. And then Daniel Bryan won the Chamber. Anytime Daniel Bryan is involved in a major way, you know, Daniel Bryan being involved gets me more interested, gets me more excited about the show. I think Patrick is in the lead, too, by the way. Thank you, Patrick, for the super chat. Right? Daniel Bryan's my favorite.
I guess it also helps too. You're actually recapping Raw. You're doing more WWE coverage now too, so that also kind of shows that maybe you have more interest in WWE now.
You and I both know that's not why I'm doing more WWE coverage.
No, but it looks like that way. You even did a show yesterday.
Yeah, I just have some more time on my hands, right? I had more time than before, and we're focusing that time on the channel, and we're growing the channel. And yes, we did a show yesterday about Charlotte Flair that you could check out right now. We're doing specials, Ringside Report, Wrestling Uncensored, news updates on Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair removed from a WrestleMania poster. Charlotte Flair's fiance asked for his release, and then she wasn't on Raw last week. But there is an update. Andrade tweeted out that he has good news, and he was happy. He tweeted that out tonight during Fastlane. So maybe they are either granting him his release or they've decided to use him on TV and do something with him. So either way, there's some movement with the Andrade situation. He seems to be happy now, which is good. Don't know what that means for Charlotte and what that means for her. I think, we'll find out tomorrow night when we watch Raw. I'm looking forward to Raw. Don't forget, I'll be on right after Raw, as I am after Raw, AEW Dynamite, and, of course, Friday Night Smackdown, and every WWE pay-per-view. We'll be on after Mania. I'll be on after Raw tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern, right after Raw wraps up. Elsewhere on the show tonight, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus had a hell of a match, and up until the main event, that was my match of the night. I thought they had a fantastic match. They brawled all over the place, lots of fighting around the ring, a lot of bumping on the floor. Their backs were all beat up. Their backs were all cut up. Like, it was a violent match. and they bumped on the floor, and not like the floor that's padded, the floor that's floor. And these are big guys taking these bumps. They were cut up and bruised after the match. Drew hit Sheamus with the Claymore for the pinfall victory. I like Drew's facial expressions and his selling after the match. Looks sad that he hurt his friend. I thought he told a good story after the match. Like, he looked sad. He looked on the verge of tears, that he had to do that to his friend, that he had to be so violent and end his 20-year friendship with Sheamus. And then he looked at the WrestleMania sign and decided, okay, I got to move on now and focus on Mania. I thought he told a really good story without saying anything. That's not easy to do. It was good facial expressions from Drew McIntyre after that match. He struggled to do his pose. He went to do his whole pose, but he, sold his lower back. He's, all beat up. So now the story is Drew too hurt to face Lashley at Mania? Of course, they're going to do the match, but he's going to be selling the injury, probably going into it. And, of course, with Lashley's hurt lock, the lower back is a target when you're applying that hold. So that's going to be a part of the story for their match. So I thought they did a lot in that post-match. Just little, Drew standing around and selling the story, selling the Sheamus story, then telling the story going forward for Mania. So great match and good stuff from Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. These guys have great chemistry together. They've had really good matches. This is their third match. This is kind of the blow-off match. They had a couple on Raw. This is the pay-per-view match. I thought it was fantastic. One of the matches of the night, for sure.
I thought the match was good. Problem with the match, though, is that the build towards it was really bad because Sheamus never won. So it was really hard to ever get into this because, if it's one-sided, it's really hard to care if Drew's always going to win. And, of course, he won again. So that kind of took away from the suspense of this match where it's who's going to win this match? Also, there's nothing on line for this. Drew's already going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. If this was a number one contenders match, okay, you'd actually be somewhat into this. But they didn't even put that on the line. Sheamus was nothing. Sheamus also lost on Raw. Sheamus always loses all the time, too. He's like Randy Orton, too. He loses all the time. So that takes away from it. You could have a good match, but if there's nothing behind the match, it's like the Roman Daniel Bryan match. What helped that match a lot was that there was a lot right on that match. With that match, with Drew and Sheamus, there's nothing right on that.
Yeah.
It's a fun brawl, but there was nothing to it.
No, you're right. There was nothing on the line, and that's a solid point. And you knew that Drew was going to win going into it. But the way there, and then at no point did you ever think Sheamus was going to win. But I just enjoyed the effort and the violence and the brutality. You know what I mean? It was a fun match. But you're right. No, you're 100% right. I don't disagree with you at all. Angelo wants to know, why doesn't Johnny come on with you on Monday night to review Raw? And Patrick C. Hamilton says, Patrick C. Hamilton says, I liked Raw and I never do. Oh, that's true. I did like Raw this week. Raw and then, Smackdown wasn't so good, though, so.
You can never get two in a row.
That's right. And Lauren Cronish says, this is the best wrestling show on the planet. Thank you, Lauren. We're trying, brother, to be the #1 show in the world. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. We're trying to get everybody in on this, If you're watching this for the first time, tell your friends. I think this is the best wrestling show in the world. I don't think anybody covers the business like we do. Johnny North is a professional wrestler. He is also an encyclopedia of professional wrestling and a historian. Inside, outside the ring, this guy knows everything about pro wrestling. And I eat, sleep, and breathe pro wrestling. When I'm not doing the show, I'm watching wrestling. When I'm not watching wrestling, I'm listening about wrestling. Listening to different podcasts about wrestling or reading about wrestling or, watching old wrestling or whatever. Nonstop. We are fully consumed by the pro wrestling business. Johnny and myself, both of us. There's nothing that we do more than pro wrestling. And MMA. Well, for me, anyways. I'm into MMA and pro wrestling. And that's it. You know what I mean? I said before, I don't watch hockey. I don't have time. I have time for mixed martial arts and I have time for pro wrestling. I watched the UFC last night. I don't know. Was there a hockey game last night, John?
There was, but there usually is almost every Saturday night.
That's right. I watch the UFC Saturday nights. You know what I'm saying? I have no time for anything else but pro wrestling and MMA. And that's why this show is #1, because we are 100% dedicated. So thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel. We appreciate you. All right. Drew and Sheamus, they did well. Seth and Shinsuke, I thought they did well as well. Good match. Nothing on the line. You knew Seth was going to win. Very similar situation to Drew and Sheamus. I didn't think the match was as good. It was kind of like a good SmackDown match, but it was on pay-per-view. Seth wins. Pinfall after the curb stomp. You know, it was okay. I liked the match. It was good, but it was kind of like not pay-per-view quality.
Well, I really don't think it could have been any better than what it was. I mean, given the time, unless they had more time, I don't think it could have been any better. I was just disappointed with the lack of like creative finish. Like, it just felt like, oh, Seth just beats him. That's it. There's no like elaborate way they went to it. There's no like back and forth. It was just pretty much like, oh, he reversed the kick, whatever, and then curb stomp, it's over.
He did that
like,
cool
that
little.
Was kind of disappointing.
The cool kick thing, though, before the curb stomp was kind of nice. The little move there where he, like, hooked his knee, and then he did the kick, and then he did the curb stomp. That was new. I thought that was kind of nice. I didn't hate that.
But that's it, though. Like one kick, and then, I'll hit you with the curb stomp. Like, that. There's no more back and forth than that. Like, that's kind of disappointing for, like, your top main event guy, and a guy who you tried to make into a main event guy. I was just expecting more.
You've been kicked in the head, John. You know what that's like. That could put you out. Didn't Flash Funk kick you in the head and knock you unconscious? Huh? Didn't Flash Funk?
That's not what happened, actually.
Flash Funk, didn't he kick you in the head and knock you out?
Yeah, but it wasn't like the way they did that. And plus, like, we wrestled a lot more intense. Like, the thing about like Seth Rollins and Nakamura, like, they did a great like choreography of moves, but lack of intensity in terms of a lot of their shots, though. I can tell you this much, like, when Too Cold Scorpio hits you, like, he's hitting you with a lot of his force. And he's a former Golden Gloves kind of guy, so when he hits you, you feel it. It's kind of different.
That's right. Johnny North knows. I don't think I've ever been more worried about you than after you told me what happened in the Too Cold Scorpio match you had, where he concussed you and you were all fucked up. He kicked you in the head, man. I know. It happens.
I was only halfway through the match. I still had to continue the match, so.
Yeah. See, Johnny North, he's a tough bastard. He's been through some shit. Flash Funk knocked him unconscious in a match, all right? Flash Funk. That guy is a hell of a goddamn wrestler. Hell of a wrestler.
Great wrestler.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. You know? Maybe not WWE.
Yeah, but, it's all about your, who's going to make you popular. Like, he's not going to, make them any more popular right now. So that's the problem, Like, and he's not friends with people too. So
they were gonna induct Batista this year in the Hall of Fame, but they decided not to. They're gonna wait till next year when they can have fans for the Hall of Fame ceremony. So they're selling tickets for WrestleMania, but not for the Hall of Fame, which is kind of like, why not?
Well, I guess they feel like it's just safer this way. Because, like, there's still a limited amount of people going to WrestleMania, right? It's only going to be 25,000 a night, so I guess they want to limit the experience as much as possible. And I guess to make WrestleMania special, where, like, WrestleMania is the time you'll get to see, like, action live again, that's it.
Yeah, and that's okay for WrestleMania to be the first time they kind of debut it. That makes sense, too. Braun Strowman versus Elias didn't make any kind of sense, so Shane McMahon was warming up for his match earlier in the day and suffered a knee injury throwing a flying knee into a pad, a Muay Thai pad, and Shane injured his knee to get out of the Braun Strowman match, and then Elias was backstage with Shane and asking him to perform at WrestleMania. He wanted to sing at Mania, and Shane was like, well, maybe you could come out to the ring and show me what you got. So then Elias starts singing, and then Shane says, hey, Elias, this is all great on the guitar and all, but you're taking my place tonight in my match with Braun Strowman. Braun comes out, and he seems down with the program. He's like, yeah, whatever, Shane's hurt. I'll just wrestle Elias tonight. And they had a terrible little match, really pointless stuff. So they advertised Shane versus Braun. They gave you Braun versus Elias. And they're just delaying the Shane versus Braun for WrestleMania. And, of course, Shane was wearing a stupid Express t-shirt It's a Braun Strowman shirt that says Strowman Express, but he had a thing taped over it that said Stupid Express, which is great. Didn't he do that for like a WrestleMania at some point?
He does it almost.
He tapes things over, right? That's part of his gimmick, Shane McMahon. So he has a Stupid Express because of course, the whole story for Shane and Braun is that Shane is bullying Braun and calling him stupid. This was the lowest point of the night. The Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman stuff, and then the Braun Strowman-Elias match. Total low point of the night. Didn't get worse than this.
Well, it's just not something you put on pay-per-view. I don't know why they had to do this, but for whatever reason they did, sadly. And thankfully it wasn't that long, though. It was very quick. I mean, we got through like 4 matches in about an hour, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it was a pretty short pay-per-view. It went from 7 to about 9:30, which is good. But, yeah. I could have seen less Shane McMahon. Big E and Apollo Crews. Thought the match was okay. The finish was not great. It was like a small package that Big E was supposed to reverse, but it was unclear what happened. The ref counted to 3. Both guys looked like their shoulders were down. Big E acted like he won, and then Apollo immediately attacks Big E. Didn't allow any time to let anyone figure out who won the match. Like, the ref counts to 3, rings the bell. It's unclear who's won, except the wrestlers know because they know the finish. So Big E kind of acts like he wins. Apollo just directly attacks Big E. And then Michael Cole even said, by the actions of Apollo, it appears Big E has retained his title. So Michael Cole's basically telling you, yeah, this was a mess. We don't know what really happened here, but Apollo seems mad, so I guess he lost. Terrible. Terrible finish.
Yeah, it seems like this is recurring tonight, where it's the finishes just seem kind of lackluster, and this one really seemed to hurt this match. To me, it seemed that Apollo had Big E. The referee counted 2 and then stopped, and then started counting again. But Apollo was still pinning Big E, so that should have been 3 right there. But then she counted what seemed like to be 5 or something. She did point to Big E when she made the pin. So I thought that's what it meant, that Big E won. But again, it wasn't very clear. It's not good when it's confusing like that. That's not very good. And more than likely, I think we're going to get a rematch at WrestleMania, though.
Yeah, I think you have to. Because it was such a screwy finish, and Apollo attacked Big E afterwards. That seems to be the story of this feud. Big E beats Apollo in the matches, but then after the matches or before the matches or when there's no match, Apollo beats the shit out of Big E, right? That's mostly what happens in this whole story. And then Apollo speaks in an accent that he's just picked up. Yeah. Struggling to like this. I really want to like this because I like both guys, but I'm really having trouble. The promos have been especially Apollo's side. Like, Big E's all right. You know, he's good when he's passionate. He's fine. He's not amazing, but he's solid, you know. It's kind of a new role for him. He's getting accustomed to it. He's finding his voice as a singles wrestler who's out for revenge. Like, he's never really been put in that position. I think he's still kind of finding where he's at. And Apollo's got this, accent. And I want to like this, because it's for the Intercontinental title. The match was good, but the finish just sucked. They're 2 really good wrestlers, but... And I'm seeing Bob Cote saw one of Big E's shoulders up. Yeah, but only at the end, and kind of, it was so unclear. It wasn't a clear finish. I want to like this. I like Big E. I like Apollo. But I didn't like their match so much. I haven't liked this feud so much. And the promos have been kind of weird. It's too bad. I really hope they they fixed it at Mania, you know? I hope they can do it. You know, give them 15 minutes. Give them a good amount of, maybe 20 minutes even, have a good solid match with a good solid finish. Fix it at Mania, please, because I want this to be good. I really do. I like these guys, right? It's hard to, like, I could shit all over this, but I don't want to because I like both guys so much. So I'm just going to say, yeah, I wish it was better.
Well, I mean, it's just finishes get screwed up. It happens, kind of thing. You move on. I mean, the fact that they get to kind of redo it again at WrestleMania is kind of a good thing. And I think at that time they're finally going to give it to Apollo. So I think this is just the eventual progression. It's just you hit a speed bump every now and then. Some things don't go right. You move on. I mean, if you think about it, if you get the match right at WrestleMania, that's the best thing, right? People remember WrestleMania more than Fastlane.
Yes, for sure. So that's why they could easily fix it at Mania, and I hope that they do. Nia and Shayna. Oh, God. Nia and Shayna get the win over Sasha and Bianca in the opener. This was not great. Shayna rolled up Sasha for the 1-2-3. Sasha had Shayna locked in the bank statement. Nia went to make the save. Bianca tried to stop Nia from interfering, but instead Nia just pushed Bianca onto Sasha, which broke the hold. Sasha and Bianca then argued, which distracted Sasha, allowing Shayna to pin her. Which I feel like we've seen over and over again. Like, wasn't this the same finish at Elimination Chamber? Somebody's distracted, they argue. Different. That was more Reginald getting involved.
Yeah.
But, like, it's basically the same match. It wasn't particularly good leading up to this. The finish was weak. It's a replay of what we saw at the Chamber. And you're making Bianca and Sasha look like total idiots and jabronis leading up to their big WrestleMania match. You're trying to build Bianca. She's losing every match she has going into Mania after winning the Rumble. And Sasha's the one that's getting pinned. She's the champion. You're making these two look bad leading into what should be one of your biggest matches at Mania. But instead, you're kind of watering this whole program down with what you've done with them as a tag team. With Reginald. Reginald was back, by the way. We thought Reginald might have the Rona because a lot of people in NXT have the Rona, but it looks like Reginald was probably just around those people and was quarantining, waiting around to see if he had symptoms before rejoining the roster. Probably got tested and tested negative, so now he's back because he was missing from Raw and SmackDown this week after last Wednesday there was a big outbreak in NXT. And then Reginald disappeared. You figure Reginald is part of it. He reemerges tonight. I guess he's all right. Good for Reggie. Bianca also had Shayna beat at a certain point after a 450, but Reginald jumped on the apron and stopped that. Bianca and Sasha continued to argue after the match. The best part about this was Sasha slapping the taste out of Bianca's mouth. That was a good slap. That was one of the most solid strikes on the whole pay-per-view, brother.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Shout out to Dor for donating $25. That's pretty awesome.
Whoa. Thank you for noticing that, Johnny. Uh-oh. I think Patrick just got overtaken. Good God almighty. Dor in the lead now. In the lead with the super chat tips. Patrick was leading, but now Dor with that big 25 drop. I mean, he's in the lead. Good God almighty. Thank you, Dor, out in Israel. Whew. Whew.
That's huge.
I say thank you in Hebrew. Toda Rabbah, I think. Isn't that thank you very much? Toda Rabbah?
I hope so.
Rabbah. I hope it doesn't mean something bad.
Well, yeah.
Thank you very much. Toda Rabbah. Oh, my Hebrew is strong, brother. My Hebrew game's strong. Toda Rabbah, Dor. I hope he speaks Hebrew. Maybe he just speaks English. I don't know. I figure you live in Israel. You probably speak Hebrew.
Well, he listens to us, so I imagine he understands us at least.
Oh, he definitely speaks English. I just don't know if he speaks Hebrew. I'm saying thank you, but I'm also saying it in Hebrew. How about that? You didn't know I could speak Hebrew, John. You didn't know I dropped some different languages on you. God. Good God almighty. Big Dave's international, okay? Don't mess with Big Dave. Dave's got all the languages down. Spanish, Hebrew, French, English, Italian, all sorts of languages, brother.
This is
respect
interesting.
from, what did he say? Respect from IL for you and Johnny to do barbecue on Mania show. By the way, fuck the radio people. They don't respect the business. That's right. They don't respect the business. All right. We'll do a barbecue in your name, Dor. Thank you, my friend. Fuck the radio people.
Socially
They don't
distanced.
respect the business. God bless. Good man. Oh. All right. Funny stuff. So, yeah, the slap was good. Everything else, Riddle and Mustafa Ali opened the card, though, on the pre-show. Riddle getting the win over Mustafa. Mustafa? I've been saying Mustafa, but then my son, who's 3.5, corrected me. He's like, no, it's Mustafa. And then I listened to the commentary, and he's right. It is Mustafa Ali. I like Mustafa. But it's Mustafa. That's what they're calling him, right? Mustafa. It
I
used
believe
to
in
be...
The Lion King, it's that, right?
No, in Lion King, it's Mustafa. He used to be Mustafa Ali. Lion King is Mustafa. He used to be Mustafa. And then I think he might have been Mustafa. And then they changed it to Mustafa. I swear they're changing the pronunciation of this guy's name like 3-4 times. For a while, they took the Mustafa away, and he was just Ali. But now he's Mustafa Ali. Mustafa. I really thought it was pronounced Mustafa. Probably because of Lion King.
Yeah.
Because in Lion King, I'm pretty sure it's Mustafa. But he is Mustafa. And he lost. After a pretty sweet maneuver. This match was also very good. I mean, you knew it was going to be good, but delivered. Really fantastic. The second rope, Bro Derek to retain. Hell of a finishing move. Probably the best finish of the night. Like, if we're looking at, like, finishes for a match, like, finishing moves, the way it ended, I'd say that was my favorite. Best replay finish of the night. You know what I mean? That move was good. Hits it off the second rope. Kaboom! I liked it. 1, 2, 3. Gets the win. I thought that match was very good.
It was very good, but I don't rank it with the pay-per-view because it wasn't really on the pay-per-view. Kickoff matches are good on their own little ways. And this was good for a kickoff match. Fantastic, but doesn't count towards the overall pay-per-view ranking, though. Which is too bad because this would have helped the pay-per-view.
This does not count. You do not count this match.
I don't count the kickoff matches or the buy-in whatever shows they do. I don't count those matches. We can talk about them, sure, but they don't count towards the overall 6-on-10.
Why don't they count, John?
Because it was on the pay-per-view. It's when the pay-per-view starts, start to finish.
But this is part of the Fastlane kickoff show. It's part of Fastlane.
This is like Sunday Night Heat. This is like, to get you set for the pay-per-view, to buy the pay-per-view. Not actually on the pay-per-view.
Okay. Well, in my rankings, maybe that's why I gave the pay-per-view a 7, because I counted it as part of the pay-per-view because it was on Sunday night and it was called Fastlane.
Fastlane kickoff show.
All right, Mr. Stickler.
Was Sunday Night Heat ever counted? Like those matches weren't counted.
No. Okay. Fine. And then after the match, Mustafa got all mad, started yelling at Mustafa got all mad, started yelling at Retribution. Reckoning, the girl in the group, she left. She just bailed. And then somebody else bailed. What's his name? Slapjack. Slapjack's like, forget you. He's the smaller Australian guy. And then Mason T-Bar, the two big guys, they do a double chokeslam on Mustafa. So I think Mustafa, probably on his own now, Mace and T-Bar, I'd say probably a tag team, I'd say. Look at that. Kaboom. Up and down. Up and down. So yeah, I think they keep Mace and T-Bar around as a tag team. I think they probably stay Mace and T-Bar, stay in gimmick, remain what they are. I'd say Mia Yim goes back to being Mia Yim, maybe in NXT, maybe on the main roster. I think the main roster makes sense. And poor old Slapjack, he's on the endangered species list for WWE, I'd say. He's either back to NXT, he's not going to get a singles run on the main roster, back to NXT, or back to the Performance Center for repackaging until they figure out what to do with him, and then maybe give him another try on the main roster, like put him on SmackDown as whatever his real name is and try it out. But I don't know. Retribution getting broken up tonight. Not a group that did well, and they break up on a pre-show, something Johnny North doesn't even consider Fastlane. It's a show unto itself. It's a no-man's show in no man's land. And that's where they break up Retribution. So, shows you what they think of that.
I feel like JJ Bonsi brought up a good point there about the New Day when they won a Survivor Series, and they didn't count that towards the overall Survivor Series, like, win-loss.
Yes, he's right.
He's right.
All right. So you're right, John. Fine. That's fine. You guys are both right.
It's okay to be right.
But what do you think about Retribution just kind of breaking up like this? Like just throwaway, broken up on the pre-show, whatever. Do you agree with my assessment of where Retribution goes from here?
Yeah, it's just too bad because I feel Retribution, they started off really hot. I mean, that was the huge thing last summer, if you remember correctly, that who is this hacker? And then these people that go in and attack and took over SmackDown, took over Raw. Like, this was like the biggest thing going in WWE. And it really just fell. And sadly, it never got back on track ever again. They kind of just dragged this out to eventual death. It's too bad, but I mean, when you think about it, it felt like this was going to happen like off Raw. So, I mean, this is kind of appropriate that it happened where it happened.
I knew that this was a failed experiment when they, like, started the group. As soon as Retribution was a group, they had a name, they gave their people names, it was going to fail. When you're calling people Slapjack, Mace, and T-Bar, and you're giving them stupid masks and dumbass promos, it's going to fail. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. We knew this was going to fail. It took a while to fail, but you knew that it wasn't going to work. It was just a failed concept. Like, the initial idea was kind of cool. Like, a group of people coming from the outside, they're trying to crush WWE and all it stands for. Cool. But in the execution, like, once they decided, okay, these are the members, because at a certain point, Retribution was like 30 people crashing shows, beating up everybody. And then they were like, no, it's going to be 4 people, and then Mustafa Ali will lead them. What are their names? T-Bar, Mace, Slapjack, and Reckoning. And Mustafa. Okay. What's their deal? They're mad. Why? You know. They've been looked over. Okay. What are we going to do? We're going to look them over. We're going to continue to look them over. And then we're going to break them up, and then, we might fire a couple of them. All right. Good plan. Good plan. Thank you, Vince. It's one of my best plans. I don't think it was Triple H's idea. I just like to do the impression. Lauren Cronish says 205 live for Slapjack. I mean, maybe, if he's lucky. Derek John says main event. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
It's too bad. I mean, I think it's great to give, like, new talent opportunity, though. Like, I appreciate the fact that they tried something. I mean, it didn't work out, but at least give them a chance to try to succeed. Fortunately, it kind of fell apart way too early, and they should have maybe have done this earlier because I think a lot of people saw this coming months ago.
Did they get a big win? Ever?
They got one big win when they beat the Survivor Series team.
Not at Survivor Series.
No, it was on Raw, but still, I mean, you beat the Survivor Series team. That was still pretty good.
They had the Hurt Business go after them. Like, that was their first
They
feud.
lost it.
Another heel team that they lost to. Like, that's how bad they set this up. They're like, here's this hot new heel team. Who do we put them up against? How about this other new heel team that we have? And let's have the Hurt Business just, like, crush them. 2 heel teams against each other? Yeah. Okay. And that's how Retribution died. Because they put them up against another heel team that they lost to. So you're telling the audience, well, yeah, so on the pecking order of heel teams, Hurt Business is here, Retribution is here. Right off the bat, when they came into the company, you were told explicitly this is not the top heel team on Raw. Which is like, geez, you're pretty far down the pecking order, aren't you? It was obvious that they were jabronis right off the bat. They never had a chance. Their names didn't give them a chance. Their booking didn't give them a chance. They never had a shot in hell. And now they're over, which is good. I mean, that guy Donovan Dijakovic is a hell of a wrestler and should just wrestle as himself because he's good. Mace, I mean, I don't know. Dio Madden, like, can he wrestle? I don't know. He was on commentary for a bit. They obviously didn't think he could wrestle, and then he didn't want to be on commentary anymore. He wanted to go wrestle. Can he wrestle? He hasn't looked amazing. I know Donovan Dijakovic is good. I know Mia Yim is good. And I think Slapjack is decent. I know Mustafa Ali is good. But I feel like Retribution was dragging everybody in it down, except for maybe Mace. Because I don't know if Dio Madden really gets a job on the main roster as a wrestler unless he's in this group. Because he's like a big guy and he kind of fits what they're looking for, right? But I don't know. Jury's out on Dio Madden, a.k.a. Mace. But goddamn, T-Bar, like, Donovan Dijakovic was on NXT having great matches with Keith Lee a year and a half ago. What happened to that? Just, like, bring him to the main roster as what he used to be, and I think he could be a big star for your company. Him versus Cesaro. You're telling me that wouldn't be a kick-ass match? Can I please get that as soon as possible? Take the mask off, put him on SmackDown, have him be a wrestler on SmackDown. Donovan Dijakovic versus Cesaro. Donovan Dijakovic versus Seth Rollins. Donovan Dijakovic versus Baron Corbin. I mean, these are all matches that'll be fine. Good matches. I'm right, John. You know I'm right. It's like your wrestling t-shirt says, or Doug Hepburn wants your t-shirt to say, it's okay to be right. Apparently. He likes that. That's one of your catchphrases, John. It's okay to be right.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, it could work.
Dijakovic, you good with him? You want him on TV?
I don't know. As T-Bar, he's been really bad. I don't know what's happened. Like, it seems like as T-Bar, like, his wrestling, like, really went downhill for whatever reason. I don't know if he changed his style.
Yeah.
Sort of suit the gimmick more or something, but it hasn't worked out very well. I mean, if anything, the end of Retribution is probably the best for him because he's actually looked awful so far.
He's been teaming with Mace. It's not his fault. Let's blame Mace. Or Puffy or any of the bad boy
He's still
family.
going to team with Mace from what it looks like.
Yeah? You get that reference I dropped there? You didn't get it. You know, Mace.
I wasn't paying attention to you.
You never do, you bastard. I said Mace or Puffy or any of the bad boy family. You know there was a rapper called Mace? Forget it. Derek John says, when Ali was cutting promos about Kofi stealing a spot at Elimination Chamber, then Kofi was at Elimination Chamber, and then Ali stopped talking about it, that was just bad. Yeah. Like, Ali seemed like he had something going on with Kofi, and then they were just like, we'll drop it. Should we, finish it? Nah. And then Ali just started berating his team for a while, and just like, the writing's on the wall here. They're going to turn on him at some point, right? You knew that was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. They decided, Fastlane pre-show, that seems like a good time to do it. Okay. Maybe they needed another tag team for the Raw tag team title match. I'm trying to recall who the Raw tag team champions are, and I'm really having a hard time.
I mean, they said it. It's New Day against AJ and Omos.
Yeah, it's New Day. Match. Oh, yeah, you're right. No. So they don't need that. It's not a multi-man match for that. I'm just trying to find a reason why they would break them up now. Like, do they have a plan, or are they just like, fuck it?
I think it's just a talking point. That's it. You got people talking. No one would really care if they didn't break up. So I got people talking, and it makes you wonder what's going to happen with them now. I'm not saying it's a great thing, but they got people talking about a kickoff show, which usually no one cares about.
Do you think any of them are booked in anything at WrestleMania other than the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? I do not. I think if they're at Mania, this was done with no foresight, with no reason, with no intent. It was just done to break them up because fuck it. The whole Retribution angle has been, fuck it. They broke them up because, and they don't have a plan for them for WrestleMania, which is 3 weeks away. And maybe they'll be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and maybe not. Maybe Mia Yim will debut after WrestleMania as Mia Yim. Maybe not. I don't think they have a plan. Which is classic WWE. No plan. Bob Cote saying, mo money, mo problems. Bob gets it. Seems like the mo money we come across, the mo problems we see. JJ Modesty saying Bleacher Report says Andrade has been officially released. Breaking news. Andrade got his release.
But that's 90 days, though, no?
Yes. Oh, this is official. I'm seeing this being confirmed from a few different sources now. Andrade has been released by the WWE, granted his release. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Angelo taking the lead. Good God Almighty! With a big one. I think he just overtook our man Dor from Israel. Damn, Angelo, dropping it. Dropping it right at the end here.
Massive.
Is Angelo going to win the night? Did Angelo just win with that? Somebody beat Angelo. I don't know if anybody can. Dor in Israel dropped an 8 and then a 25, but Angelo just dropped a 28 and 1, and I think he dropped a couple before, so Angelo right now is rocking the lead. Top donor of the show tonight. Angelo, my man, member of the team as well. Thank you, Angelo. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody supporting the team, everybody watching the show. We love you. We love you big time. Super chat. Yo, what? Uh-oh, Patrick taking over. Good God Almighty, Patrick.
We hear it, but I don't see it, though.
There it is. Boom, there it is.
Ah, there it is.
See it?
Whoa.
Patrick with a 45. Good God, Patrick. Good God Almighty, Patrick in the lead now. Woo. Woo. It's getting hot.
Drop.
The Super Chat battles are crazy, man. The Super Chat battles are just wild. Patrick is the king right now. JJ Modesty goes, that didn't last long. Yeah, man. Angelo took the lead, and then Patrick's like, boom. Good God. Patrick C. Hamilton, my man. It's a good man right there. Whew.
Well, I feel Charlotte's going to probably be on Raw or involved in WrestleMania now, because I imagine this was part of the whole agreement. They give him his release. She plays ball again, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this was a way to get Charlotte back in the fold. This is official now from the WWE. WWE come to the terms on the release of Andrade, wishing him the best in all of his future endeavors.
But again, 90 days. Though.
Idolo, 90 days. Are you going to be on 90 Day Fiancé? Is that what you're trying to tell me? What do you mean 90 days? No compete, right?
No compete 90 days, yes.
Yeah. So that's 3 months. So what are we? March, April, May, June? Maybe late June, early July. See him pop up somewhere. AEW, perhaps. Mexico, perhaps. I think this probably brings Charlotte back into the fold, right? Like they removed Charlotte from a WrestleMania poster. I know that you saw a WrestleMania commercial tonight with Charlotte in it briefly, but that's an old commercial. But then when she was removed from the poster, when she didn't show up on Raw last week, pretty suspicious. Pretty suspicious. So Andrade now getting his release, getting what he wanted from WWE, probably, if Andrade's happy, his fiancée Charlotte probably happy, we probably see her on Raw tomorrow night. That's what I think. I think this was done to placate Charlotte, which, good. She's one of your top stars. You have to do what your stars want sometimes. If John Cena, or say Roman Reigns, well, let's say John Cena, because there was a time when John Cena was dating somebody in the company, right? John Cena was dating Nikki Bella for a long time. And I think they were engaged. Yeah, they were engaged. They got engaged at WrestleMania. Remember that? They never got married.
We saw it.
They're both married to... No, Cena's not married, but Nikki, I think, is married to a guy. Is she married to that guy?
Cena is married.
Cena's married?
Yeah, to whatever her name is.
He got married?
Pretty sure he got married, yeah.
You're right, he did. Shay Shariatzadeh. I cannot... I'm a
little disappointed in you. I thought you were a huge Cena fan. What happened?
I am. But
I know this. What happened?
Sorry, I didn't know Cena was married. You're right. Cena's married. This is Cena's wife. Shay Shariatzadeh. God bless you, John Cena. So, say Cena and Nikki were still together in WWE, but they weren't using Nikki Bella, and she was like, release me. You don't think that WWE would have released Nikki Bella if John Cena was like, yo, you better release her? And it should be the same thing here with Charlotte. Charlotte is a huge star in WWE. If Andrade wants his release, Charlotte, if she says, hey, release him, I think the WWE should do what their big stars want within reason. And if you're not going to use Andrade and you're really pissing off Charlotte by doing that and not letting him go and wrestle, Charlotte's a big enough star that she should have some stroke in the company where you say, okay, Charlotte, we'll release him. No?
Yeah, I feel it's different with Cena, though. I feel Cena's kind of like a company guy kind of thing. So, and Cena's kind of like, he has his business kind of separated. So, yes. I don't know.
He wouldn't, but if he had, they probably would say, okay, John, whatever you want. Right?
Right. Either way, this is done because they just wanted to get things settled. Because obviously there was issues, and more than likely things have been settled now and things are better. So people can move on now and be happy. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, 100%. I want to see Charlotte at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley's going to be on Raw tomorrow night. Do you think it's Charlotte, Rhea, Asuka triple threat for the Raw title?
To me, it's too early for Rhea to be in the title picture, but wait and see.
Why bring her? Why debut her 3 weeks before Mania? Why not wait until after Mania?
Yeah, it's a good point, but to me, it just seems too soon to throw her into the title picture. I mean, just having her there, I think, is a big thing. Honestly, what I would do is put her against like Bailey or something, because Bailey doesn't have a match for the pay-per-view. You can do a Raw vs. SmackDown match.
I guess Bailey should have something for the pay-per-view. I don't really understand why she doesn't. Just give her the match with Michael Cole that she's been asking for. Give Bailey whatever she wants to. Yes! Come on, Michael Cole's undefeated at WrestleMania, okay? He can't be undefeated at WrestleMania. Somebody's got to take that victory away from him. And Jerry Lawler should accompany Bailey to the ring, okay? All those coal miners.
After tonight, no more intergender matches after tonight.
Oh, come on, John. You're just mad because Randy lost. You're still mad that he took the L tonight, John. Alexa Bliss just destroyed him. Bob Cotes wants to know, why haven't they released Zelina Vega's husband? Because
they don't want to?
Yeah, they don't want to. Because they're keeping him because, Zelina Vega isn't Charlotte Flair. And,
right.
They want to keep him around so that he doesn't go to AEW or somewhere else. And they can, and they will, until his contract's up. He's going to eat catering, and he's going to do whatever they want. And he probably won't wrestle that much until his contract's up. He'll sit out his contract, and then he'll go somewhere else, maybe AEW. I think he'd be great there.
It's a very interesting comment in the chat about Charlotte and how she's not like Shawn Michaels. I think people underestimate Charlotte for some reason, because I feel like she might not be Shawn, but she's high enough, though.
She's pretty close. I mean, Triple H idolizes her father.
Right.
That helps. And he's known her since before she was in WWE. She's Charlotte Flair, too. Let's not forget who she is. She's a massive star. You want her to leave the company? Like, this was, in play right now. With Andrade wanting to leave and Charlotte may be mad about it. Like, they can't let Charlotte go. Ever. Could you imagine how big Charlotte would be for AEW? Could you imagine how much she would change their women's division and bring their whole company up several pegs? Like, Charlotte is a once-in-a-generation type of talent. She is a historic figure in professional wrestling. She is a living legend at this point. She is one of the biggest stars in the WWE. She's one of the most valuable pieces that you have. Charlotte might be the most valuable woman in professional wrestling today. You could say Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, and Thunder Rosa, and Britt Baker, and all of that. But if you're starting a wrestling company, who are you picking as your number one draft pick? I'd take Charlotte. Who do you want to be the centerpiece of your women's division? I mean, maybe Asuka, but probably Charlotte. Charlotte is a massive star. John Cena, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair. Like, that level. Becky Lynch is a big star, but Becky got herself and pushed herself and cut promos only to get to the level of Charlotte. Like, let's not forget, Charlotte was here, Becky was here. Becky worked and worked and worked and got to the same level, but I don't know if she really surpassed Charlotte. She came close. She had a great run, but let's not forget, when Becky main evented WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte did too. Charlotte was right there. Charlotte's had bigger matches at WrestleMania. She's been more dominant and has had bigger wins over a longer stretch of time than Becky Lynch. And hey, if Becky was still wrestling over the past year, maybe we'd be singing a different tune right now. But Becky's not been around. Charlotte is still one of the tops in the business. And even when Becky was around, Charlotte was right there with her. Becky got great, but she got great because she realized that she was being seen as less than Charlotte, and she didn't want that. She wanted to be seen on the same level, and she is. But I would still say that Charlotte is just a little bit more valuable than Becky Lynch. I'd say Becky's probably a better promo. In the ring, though, I'd say Charlotte is a better athlete. And her character and her, presence, there's something about that. Not to mention the pedigree and the history and the family and all of that. Becky and Charlotte I don't want to take anything away from Becky here. I'm just trying to bring up Charlotte and say I think she's the best in the business. You don't want to lose her and you don't want to piss her off. So keep Charlotte on your good side if you're the WWE, and that's what they're doing. Andrade wants a release. Charlotte raises a stink. They give him his release. Make no mistake, that's what happened. That's how you read the situation, right, John?
Well, to be honest, quite frankly, I think for my number one draft pick, it'd have to be Ronda Rousey if I get to choose whoever I want.
Yeah.
For women wrestler.
She's not a full-time talent.
But if I have a chance to have her at all, definitely her. She's number one. Because you can agree with this too. I mean, they're the main event of WrestleMania because of Ronda.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
She's not there?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, she's not there.
Well, no, I mean,
they don't do it.
As far as star power, there's nobody bigger than Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is an international superstar. She's a trailblazer. She's a historical figure for women's mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. Yeah, Ronda Rousey is a different story than Charlotte Flair. I'm not trying to compare Charlotte to Ronda, but Ronda I don't see as a professional wrestler. She's something else, But yes, Charlotte is just fantastic. Kavion Martin says Becky is making more than Charlotte. I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think you have those. Is. You have those numbers, John? You have the salaries for WWE talent? Those aren't public.
Yeah, they are public, actually.
No, they're not. Not all of them. Only for
a good chunk of them.
No. Those are old, though. They don't update it and just put them all out there. Those are not public, John. Not that I know.
You could look it up. Look it up.
Okay. I'll look it up. Oh, Forbes is reporting her salary at $3 million a year. But that's Forbes, and
that's
I know.
Becky.
Yeah, Becky. But Forbes is not always right. Like when they do those lists, they're saying Becky Lynch is the highest paid female wrestler in the WWE. And that's possible. And some people are reporting. Some people are reporting Charlotte Flair makes like $500,000 a year, which would be shocking. And you could bet that when the next contract comes around, if it really is $3 million a year for Becky, Charlotte's going to be asking for about the same, if not more. Like just because somebody may be making more now, which even then I kind of doubt those reports because they're not really official. But yeah, when contract time comes around, like come on, Charlotte Flair's a massive star. She's bigger than Becky. Becky's great, but Charlotte is different. There's something else with Charlotte Flair. Doug Hepburn says Charlotte has a big impact on every story that she's part of. Exactly. She changes everything. She's a gigantic star. And now that her fiancé has been released, I think she'll show up on Raw tomorrow night. I think that's what we do. And we will be back here tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw post show. And Johnny North, we had the question before. Why don't you come on the Raw post shows? Why, John? Why? Why do you leave me alone Monday nights?
I'll never do it. I'll never stay for Raw.
Why?
Because Raw's too long and life's too short.
Oh, you still watch it. I know you watch it. I see you tweeting
about it.
Yeah, I
watch 2 hours. That's it. That third hour? No way.
Super chat. Super chat. Oh, no. What? Angelo dropping the massive super chat. 47. Angelo just took over from Patrick. Patrick dropped a 45. Angelo dropped a 28. Then Patrick dropped a 45. Now Angelo drops a 47. Did Angelo just win the battle? Did he just win? I can't imagine anybody's going to beat Angelo. Like, how does anybody overtake that? Angelo's dropped, like, a bunch in the super chat tonight. Thank you, Angelo. We appreciate you. You're giving this show more steam, more power. Everybody that super chatted tonight, good God almighty, guys. We appreciate you. Angelo, of course, Patrick. Angelo and Patrick are two top super chatters of the night, but Dor out in Israel. Thank you, Dor. Doug Hepburn, TK dropping it. Hepburn dropping it. Patrick, of course, out in Regina, Saskatchewan. He's dropping it. Angelo in Montreal. He's killing the game tonight. I think Angelo's our champion. Bravo, Angelo is right. Good God almighty. All over the world, people are loving Wrestling Uncensored and the Ringside Report Network. Don't forget to like this video. If you didn't drop a super chat, you could like the video. If you did drop a super chat, you can like the video. Everybody watching should like the video. I think you like this video, right? You're watching. You must like it. Just put a like. It's not that hard. Just click the... You see the thing? Where there's a little thumb? You see the thumb, like right there? The thumbs up? Just click it. Click the thumbs up. It costs nothing. It's very easy to do. It helps us a lot. Because the more thumbs up we get, the more it helps with the algorithm and YouTube, and then more people see us. And then we can keep doing these shows forever and ever. And there'll be more shows all the time. The more super chatting, like you guys supporting the show, that's why we're doing more shows. We have more time, and the more super chat, the more time we have to invest into the show, the less we have to do other things for money. We could just do this show, and then we could do more shows all the time. I did a special Charlotte Flair news update yesterday. We are on every Monday night now after Raw, every Wednesday night after Dynamite, every Friday night after Smackdown. Every time there's a WWE pay-per-view, we're here right after to break it all down. And, of course, every Thursday night at 8 p.m., we do the MMA thing. We break it all down with Ringside Report MMA. And next Saturday, we're going to be doing the UFC 260 watch-along. Stipe versus Francis. Uh-oh. Patrick dropping it again. Patrick dropping another one. Is it not over? Did Patrick just take the lead? I think he did. Patrick's like doing the math. Dang. I think did he take the lead? I don't know. Oh, man. I'm trying to do the math on you here, Patrick, tonight. Patrick's really doing well. I think Patrick may have taken the lead. It's hard to count up all the different super chats. And you guys know math is not my strong suit. I'm not that good on the math. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. 3 to 10. Maybe somebody in the production staff could help me. I need some math here. Yeah, thank you, TK. I don't know, man. Patrick's got like 3, 10 here. Patrick, another 10, let's say 20, and then 5, and then good God almighty. Patrick, you're making me work here with the math. 70 maybe, Patrick? 77? I think Patrick's at like 77. Angelo's at like 47.
That's amazing for just one.
28. Yeah, Patrick, thank you so much, man. Angelo's really close, though. Angelo's, like, super close. What's 47 plus 28? Jeez. No one knows. It's impossible to know. I think it's 75, but I'm not sure. I think it's, like, roughly 75, right? Math is so hard. Yeah, but then he did another one before, right? And there was, like, a 3, so it's, like... I think they're tied. Did they tie? I think they tied in the Super Chat battle. I think Patrick's last Super Chat tied him with Angelo. And I'm about to wrap up the show. So if you want to drop in one more just as we go, Patrick or Angelo, I think you'll win. Like, if you throw in one more at the end, you'll win for the night. But it's, unnecessary, guys. I appreciate you. Whatever you've done tonight. Like, I'm not trying to push you for more.
I'm seeing a bunch of numbers just popped up.
Oh, okay, there we go. Put that on the screen, team. Can we put that on the screen, the numbers?
All I'm seeing is lines now. That's all I'm seeing is lines.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of numbers going down. Too much math. Oh, Angelo, drop into $6.99. I think Angelo just won. Thank you, Angelo. We love you. What a battle it was tonight. That's a good Super Chat battle. It's something we do on Ringside Report MMA on all the shows.
There you go. I think you got totals there.
Did we get totals? Yeah, Angelo, 77. Patrick, 70. TK, 7. Doug, 5. Nice. Nice. So Angelo just won, I think. He just won the Super Chat battle of the night. We love you, Angelo. Thank you. Appreciate you. He just overtook Patrick. My math was right there, eh? I said one more and it'll put you over the top, and then boom. Angelo does it, puts him over the top. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, TK. Thank you, Doug. Thank you to everybody watching the show. Thank you to everybody super chatting. Great night. We love you guys. Become a member. Membership.ringsidereport.net. You could also go to donate.ringsidereport.net. And we got merch. Get some merch. There's a cup with my face on it. Look at that. That's Fred. That's AJ. And that's me at the end. What? That's an AJ catchphrase. Your MMA authorities. Ringside Report Network. MMA authorities, yeah. Although my picks weren't too good last night. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I wanted to take your picks. My picks were garbage last night. I went 0 for 2. Marion Renault, I had her winning by decision. She lost a very close decision, which really pissed me off. It was a very close fight, and she lost the decision. And I had Kevin Holland by knockout, and he really should have knocked out Derek Brunson, but he was spending all of his time talking to people outside of the cage and just totally fucking around. I don't know what the hell Kevin Holland was doing last night. He nearly knocked out Derek Brunson several times, but then got over-aggressive, presented his hips, and got taken down time and time again. Kevin Holland delivering one of the most goofy, perplexing performances in the history of the UFC last night. It was fucking crazy and made me go 0 for 2. So if you bet money on Kevin Holland, you were also enraged. And I'm sure his coaches were pissed. Like, John, did you see that fight? You didn't see that fight last night, eh? It was fucked up. God
I didn't see it, but I saw Jeremy Prophet did pretty well because he went against you, so he bet it okay.
Yeah, well, good for him. What do I care? I don't care about Jeremy Prophet.
Do well.
Whatever. We'll see how he did. We'll see how he does for the next pay-per-view. We'll see how we'll do for the next pay-per-view. Johnny and I will be back on Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite Recap. But hey, I'll be back tomorrow night right after Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow night right after Raw, 11 p.m. right here on the Ringside Report Network. Like this video. Oh, Mako says my math was awful. Maybe it was. Sorry, Mako.
Well, Angelo won by a lot.
Yeah, Angelo won big time. Yeah, whatever. Angelo won. Thank you, Angelo. We love you. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Dor. Oh, Dor did well, too. TK, Douglas Hepburn, thank you. Angelo, Montreal, Patrick in Regina, Dor in Israel, TK, I don't know where you're at. Douglas, I think you're in... Douglas is Ontario, right?
I believe so, or
I think
actually
he's in
here.
Kingston, or is it Montreal? I don't know. I thought he was in Ontario. All right, guys. We love you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you back tomorrow night here right after Monday Night Raw. RingsideReport.net. Go there. See ya.